For years, minimalism was how I survived. Now it's not enough. And that totally surprised me. I didn't expect to say that my soul needs cozy. I didn't expect to feel safer adding instead of subtracting. But something shifted. And it didn't have anything to do with decor. It was an internal shift. For a long time, minimalism was my language. It gave me structure. It gave me clarity. It gave me a way to stop running from myself. But as we have learned, especially as I wise up and get older, growth doesn't stay in one phase forever. There comes a point when discipline is no longer the lesson. There comes a point when subtraction is no longer the work. And that's where I found myself, surprisingly. Now, this isn't a design conversation. And I thought of in some video, I will show clips of my place. And it certainly isn't about trends, because I kind of do my own thing. And I have worked in the arts most of my career. But it is about what happens when inner work becomes embodied. It's about what happens when you no longer need extremes to feel safe. Minimalism was my excavation period. Let me say that properly. Minimalism was my excavation period. And boy, did I need it. However, what came next was something softer. I worked in and with emptiness for years. I could not run to shopping or to objects for temporary comfort. If I did, I knew exactly what I was doing. Buying for me had become bearing. It was a way to avoid feeling and feelings what was rising to the surface. So I stopped. Basically like cold turkey. Minimalism wasn't an aesthetic. It was a discipline. It became survival honesty. And it was definitely trauma excavation. Each layer of things, stuff, furniture, and I certainly wasn't a hoarder, but everything that I removed, it felt like peeling an onion. Underneath every object was a memory. Plus, I had inherited so many family pieces. That was definitely a memory. And some of the objects became coping mechanisms. And it was a time in my life when I anchored safety outside of myself. When I really started minimalism, there was no basement, nothing in the attic, or not much in the garage to hide things. I knew what I owned, and it did not own me. If you've seen my earlier video, Goodbye to Minimalism, you know that period was necessary. And I'll place the link in the comments if you want to revisit or see that reflection video. But this was a time of clearing. It was a necessary reduction, but it wasn't the end of the story. Something changed. I no longer needed extremes. I trust myself now. I trust myself not to overbuy. I trust myself not to anchor my energy into things. I trust myself to purchase with intention and from ethical businesses. My life operational theme now is manageability. What can I actually manage in my physical life? What fits my energetic bandwidth? What allows me to breathe? Now, I still maintain minimalist leaning closets. I truly know what I own. And I don't hide things. I don't accumulate unconsciously. I mean, people would walk in now and say, "Oh, this is cute. Where's your stuff?" But when I see it, I see stuff. I see more furniture and some throw pillows. So it's all perspective. But I can say I no longer live in deprivation either. Minimalism was about control. And I'm finding this phase is about trust. Now, you may be wondering, and I was for a while until I had to write it out, why I'm discussing cozy and minimalism under the wizened soul and the growth category. And for sure, it's not about design preferences. People would say I'm artsy. But it's about embodiment. Growth is not just emotional insight. And it's not just a spiritual language. It becomes visible in how you live. Minimalism representing my letting go, digging deep, and then digging deeper. It was very much a trauma-filled time. And I needed to process without the ability to attach to anything or anybody. But I'm finding this cozy period represents my self-love. It symbolically shows that I can manage my life. I do not need to purge to feel in control, and it is safe for me to add. Now, I still do, if something comes in, something goes out, Or if it is a piece of furniture coming in, more than a few things go out. And that feels like a really healthy exchange for me. And certainly buying is no longer running away from myself. Cozying in is embracing myself and is very much a hug to me. Though I have to tell you, cats and furniture, man, it is an adventure. After having 6 golden retrievers, I'm still learning about cats. But cozy for me is not excess. It is definitely a softness without any fear. I feel like I'm in the middle ground. I went from emptiness to integration. I don't need the rigidity that once protected me. And I don't need to swing between accumulation and austerity. I no longer need those extremes. The energy of the world right now feels very dysregulated, loud and chaotic and uncertain. I know that there is a part of us that seeks control during this time, and minimalism can offer that. It simplifies, it clears, it gives structure. However, I have found that there is another invitation emerging. I invite you to find your bandwidth, your energetic bandwidth. Find your middle ground. Find what you can manage emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And that is Fiona in the background saying, Mom, you threw Finnegan and I under the bus. Now I'm going to play with an object of yours. But again, remember, I do not edit out my cat's sound because they're part of the family. And this is about being real. This is not about showing up edited. So, cozy for me represents the middle space. Not overconsumption, not deprivation, but choice. It is safe for me to have beauty. It is safe for me to live gently. That time of extreme helped me confront what I was avoiding. And cozy reflects what I'm no longer avoiding in myself. That is growth. That is why this video is showing up under the growth side of this channel. Growth is not always about removing. It's the goodbye series of this channel. But sometimes it is about allowing. Sometimes it is about trusting yourself enough to soften. This is a self-trust conversation you must have with yourself. It's a manageability conversation you must have with yourself. You no longer need extremes to feel safe. This is the Wising Soul, a space, a sanctuary for wisdom, growth, and transformation. If you're new here, you're welcome. And if you've been here for a while, thank you for returning. If this reflection resonated, you're welcome to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who may need it. And if you'd like to revisit the excavation phase, the link to Goodbye to Minimalism is in the comments. And remember, we are all wising up together.